Hello my scrappy friends, my name is Natalie Koenig and this is my YouTube Nat Scraps. The project we have today is day one in Christie's Beautiful Life 30 days of sketches. So being the 1st of October, it is day one. You may be watching this sometime in the future, but it is day one for us. And you can see I have popped the sketch up in the top right hand corner there. And I have a whole stack of papers in front of me. Now, the very first thing I thought was that I would like some vellum gum leaves, and you can see I've cut them out, and then I'm going through my papers and I'm having a look for something to do this. So straight away, I'm not using stars. As we go through this layout, I hope you'll stick with me and see where it ends up, and I will talk a little bit more about Christie's Beautiful Life and the 30-day sketches a little bit later on. Here I'm looking for some papers to go with these photos, and I'm checking whether the vellum's going to stand out on top of the papers, whether it's going to show up at all. Some of the papers it shows up better than others, and I had initially thought I was going to go with the brown wood grain, and I really liked these greys. Now these are from the Close to My Heart As You Grow collection. I do have some in full bloom papers here, and I do bring in that slight florally one there as well. And I'm having a little look and seeing what's going to work for me, but you'll notice in a moment I narrow it down to 3 or 4 papers that I think will really work well together and give me some mats and layers on the layout. So I've chosen I don't actually use that top photo one, that in full bloom paper, which is on top at the moment. That actually gets put to side, but I do use the other photos. I do try these photos on this As You Grow paper that's got mushrooms and I think some birdies and things, but ultimately I like it on that small floral from the In Bloom collection. I don't know if many of you that are on here are participating in the 30 days of sketches, or if you have in the past, but I will leave a link in the description below which will give you the link to Christie's Beautiful Life where the sketches are posted, and you can also take part. So I discovered this about 3 months ago when she had her last month of challenges, and I was watching YouTube clips, and I did a layout a day challenge probably about 5 years ago, and I loved it because I got lots of really important stories scrapbooked. And when I scrapbook from sketches, I tend to do stories, which is something when I'm doing other series that I don't always do. So I really love being able to do these kind of challenges where I get inspired to put down some of my photos and my stories as well. Here you can see that I've layered up some papers, and I've gutted that ferny looking one and used it as a mat, and then layered up onto the back side of that fern as well as the top side of it. So that's a lot of the work done there, getting my layers organized and deciding what I would like to use. So here's my big gum leaf, and I'm not going to lie guys, these gum leaves gave me a hard time adhering them to the page. If anybody has any tips for me, I would love to hear them. Years ago I had vellum tape, but I probably have not used vellum tape in 8 years. So getting them, the little micro dots that I used not showing up was really hard, and glues didn't work, and it was a real brain twister. Now here I am popping that layer down where I've gutted the base page and the second. And the way I'm doing this is, well, double-sided taping. You see I've got what we call dog ears. So I've got little ears so I can get this all positioned, and then when I have the corners positioned, I pull out those pieces of tape. And that's something I've been doing for many, many years, and it helps to make sure that you get something in line. I have progressed over to using tape runners and things, but silly me, didn't put them on the last order that I did. So I don't have much left. So I know I'm putting in an order probably this coming week, so I will order some more tape runner. I'm bringing in a collection, and it has been sitting in my stash from when I first joined Close to My Heart 6 months or so ago, probably 8 months now. And it is called, I'm scurried around my desk having a look, Yesterday and Today Foil Die Cuts. And I just liked the sort of different colours. They're not all gold or bronze, but a kind of mixture. And I thought they would go well with the browns that I want to bring in for the kookaburra. Now, the story behind these photos is that we'd had Father's Day out at New G, which is regional Victoria, very regional. It's a very beautiful area. And we'd had lunch, and the kookaburras were sitting up in the tree eyeing off the scraps. And my son and me had decided to go over and... son and I, not son and me, good English, Nat, decided to go over and feed it a few chips. And when we did that, he eventually flew. I have no English skills today. I don't have very many English skills most days, but today especially. He flew up onto the railing, and then we basically taking chips out of our hand, and he just sit there and he gave us this really cute look, and he was a gorgeous kookaburra. Here's where I'm putting in that vellum, and I did bring in the micro dots. As I said, I tried gluing it and made a mess of it and had to start again. I did cut that out because I was so embarrassed of how much of a mess I'd made. And here I'm testing with a different glue to see if that would shine through, and it's not much better. So it was a bit of a trial and error, and I got there in the end and sort of been able to cover things up. I'm not exactly happy with the results, but I have these photos scrapped, so that's a win. So these are the little dots, and on that one there you can't see a lot of it. There's a tiny little piece that goes in the middle there, but on the gum nuts they are showing through quite a lot. So in a moment you'll see that I come in with some glue and I put a little bit of, I'm just tacking the corners down there, and I put a little bit of what am I putting over the top, guys? I'm the one telling the story. Let me check. I put some Distress Stickles cotton candy, I think it is. It's dry glitter anyway. It's a Ranger product, and I poured it over the top of some glue dots and tried to make it into a feature on the gum nuts. I really don't think I succeeded, guys, but you know, here's where I'm putting that over the top, the glitter. And I do go back later on with a brush after it's dried a bit and remove all the excess glitter. And I made a mess on my bench and glitter everywhere, as you do whenever you take glitter out of a container. I'm in narring about putting the story down along that bottom bit, and I'm not sure if I like it or not. Here I am trying to remove some glitter from there. I do come in again when it's dry and remove a bit more. And it really didn't cover up the little glue dots either, so it was a bit of a fail in all ways on that one. I do like how the layers of vellum, you can sort of see the gum leaves underneath and over the top of them, and they are two separate pieces but combined there. So I'm looking through the other little collection of embellishments that I've had sitting around for a long time, and that one is called the Candid Moments die cuts, and I'm bringing out little bits and pieces from that. Here I've printed my journaling onto some clear sticker paper or shipping labels, and so when I peel off the backing of that, they pretty much disappear onto the page. You can see a little bit of them, but they become more like a see-through sticker. The journaling says, Isaac and I took ourselves off to see the kookaburra at the end of lunch. We started feeding him a chip or two to see if he would fly up to the railing. He was happy to come join us and even let us get close. It was beautiful to see him up close and see how beautiful his mix of browns, greys and blues were. I absolutely adore kookaburras, guys. They are just so, so pretty. If you're not in Australia, the kookaburra is an Australian bird, and it will sit, and it has a bird call that sounds like he's laughing at you, and they will often say the kookaburras sit on a gum tree or a power line and just laugh at you. Here I'm just adhering down that title story, and I've got another photo of the kookaburra facing off to the right, and I decided to cut him out and pop him up there in the corner. So he looks like he's looking down at the photos that I have matted, and I really liked that. It's been a long time since I've cut photos out like that. I used to do it years and years ago when I first started scrapbooking, and in this occasion, it became like its own little embellishment, and I absolutely adored it. I just moved that tag a little bit so it's off to the side. And on top of that heart up there where there was that arrow is brown on one side, but I wanted the white to show up. I've ruled a few white lines down in there, and at this point I'm trying to bring in a touch of white into each of my three embellishment areas, and also a little bit of light brown as well as dark. So I'm looking for something that will I can add in those areas. I decided a little heart down there at the end of story, and up on the kookaburra we're going to find an arrow in that little box of bits. Now I liked this white arrow but thought, nope, I think I'll go for a wood grained arrow so it looks a bit more like a tree branch. Even though it's an arrow, in my mind it's something for that kookaburra to sit on, so he's not sort of floating up there at the top of the page. So only a couple of more details, guys. So if you've stuck with me through this chaotic one, while I'm doing these ones, the editing is going to be a bit rough and a bit thrown together, and probably the voiceovers too, I'm afraid to say. I'm so sorry, guys, but because I would like to get them up in a timely manner when I do them, I don't really want to fuss too much with them. But if they get too rough, just drop a comment and say, Nat, no good, need to do better. So there, I've also put that white arrow, so I've got that little bit of white acrylic down the bottom there, and all I need is a light wood grain up the top. So I found another little wood grain heart that's sitting around from another project, and that's it, guys. That's the finish of this layout, day one of 30 days of sketches. As I said, I don't expect to get all of them done. I will see how many I do get done. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.